Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Mindcrack server, where it's raining. Always. I'm standing here in front of Bling Tower because guess what? My application got approved. I have a feeling it had solely to do with the limerick. But anyways, I figure what we can do now is go choose my living area. I've had a few suggestions. My initial thought process was, let's go take a look. So this is the first floor, Seth, Bling, and Guude. I wanted one on the same side as Guude because of the fact that I could potentially see the ski hill. The ski hill is that direction and it overlooks spawn and things like that. I came up through here once a couple days ago, so I'm curious what it's going to look like now. Let's go to the second floor. Second floor is taken with BTC and Pack Rat, so that floor is off limits. Floor 4 is empty, so I could easily have the fourth floor. Whereas this side of the building looks out toward the ski hill. This side does not, but the apartments definitely have different types of layouts. This one is a little bit more direct. I like the style of this side better because it's more, you walk in, it's more open, you can see everything. Whereas this side, it's a little like scrunched back here in the corner. Somebody was trying to say that this side actually has more room by about 20 blocks, which is always nice, more room. I'm not sure how true that is. I'd have to actually count it out. It might be true, but it goes back pretty deep. I don't know. But I do like the layout of this side better. It just unfortunately doesn't overlook the ski hill. But the thing is, somebody else said, hey, you can go get one on that side, increase your render distance because you can do that now. And then you'll be able to see your ski hill. So I was like, let me mess with these options. Options, video settings, render distance. Look, it's only 12 chunks. Let's increase it. Let's go to the max so I can know what I'm looking at here. Done. Yes. Yep, I assumed it was just loading in chunks. But this is kind of all that ever happened when I did this. I'm apparently in the room still, because when I move around, I'm stuck by the room itself. I think I'm in the hallway now, and I'm actually looking at, those are the signs, back to the stairwell. It just doesn't stop going crazy. It's kind of a weird way to sneak a peek through the world at things. Not that you really know what you're looking at, and I have no idea what's going on here. So I was like, okay, maybe it's the fact that you don't want to do 32 chunks. That's just too much. Let's just do like 20 chunks or something like that. And lo and behold, it was the exact same thing. And I have no idea what it is. I exited the game. I came back into the game, exited the game, came back into the game. I just get this over and over and over again. So I actually didn't go keep like stepping it down at all, but I did I think go to as low as 16 and realize that I still saw the same craziness. And then when I went back to 12, which is where it had started at, I was all of a sudden back to normal. So yeah, I was aimlessly wandering around and got stuck in the wall, and I could see the signs for some odd reason, but I can't render far enough to see the ski hill anyway, so therefore it doesn't matter if I'm on this side, except for that this is a cooler view of spawn than the other side is. So I have a feeling we're going to expand this way, though, so it's probably going to be a cool look in itself. So that's not a big deal. So I went up farther after deciding that and said, you know what, let's see what's up at the top. Floor 5 is Sevco. So here's Sev's house, which I had gone into last time, and you guys said I left the door open and Scotland might have escaped. Oh, good, he's still there, or he made a new one. I don't know, but let's not make that mistake again. And I came out and I looked around here, then I went upstairs again, and let's see what upstairs still holds. Now, Adlington is upstairs on one side. Yeah, just Adlington so far. So Adlington sadly has the side, if I could get up here to the roof This is the floor right before the roof. If I could get up here and have this apartment, I would probably still take this side, but Adlington's already claimed it. So this side, granted it looks the wrong direction, I think is what I'm going to be choosing, because I know Adlington has a plan, from what I heard, for some type of like rooftop garden, which I think is a really cool idea, and I would love to take part in that myself. And somebody also suggested that oh look, somebody's down there. I didn't even see who. I didn't even say hi to people. Hey, I'm a jerk. I just came on and started recording and didn't even say hi. But I would love to. Somebody else had a suggestion that I actually just break a hole in my floor or excuse me, in my ceiling, and put a ladder that goes straight up to the roof, which I think would be a pretty sweet idea. So I think I'm going to claim this rooftop apartment, though I did hear plans that this building might be under construction, and this isn't necessarily Melona. Okay. So this might not stay the roof, which is kind of sad, because but I bet you if Adlington and I start a rooftop garden up here, we won't be able to stop him. So I think what I'm doing is I'm claiming this apartment right here with Adlington. Adlington and I are going to be like pad mates. Maybe I'll even talk to him and see if we can bust a hole through here, and we can like just get back and forth to each other's apartment like those old hotels with yeah, because it'd be like right here. We could have like a party pad back here, like where we could just chill. It'd be our community room, and we could just like have a good old time and like take advantage of even more space. I don't know, but either way, I am claiming this as Jay Sano. I was actually thinking about just claiming the roof and being like, man, this apartment is missing a lot of amenities that I would have wanted, but it would be awesome to take the roof as my apartment just because there's so much space. But I do like being close to the apartment up above, and this way I won't even get to hear the sounds of people above me stomping around until they're having good old parties up there. Like, I can sleep peacefully. You gotta remember, I work night shift sometimes. I need a place to sleep where I'm not worried about people on top of me just going stomp, stomp, stomp. I will tell you, I should tell you that I should go get some more wood and start putting some amenities in here. Even put a bed. I haven't slept on this server yet. I don't even know if I'm going to, actually. It doesn't really matter if I sleep here or if I sleep, like, if I sleep here, I will spawn here. If I don't sleep here, if I die, I will spawn, like, somewhere right down there, because this is, like, spawn. But I want to get some stuff and start building. I wish I had a silk touch pick, because, oh no, I don't need to do that. Excuse me. Yeah, I still need a silk touch pick, though, to break out these windows, because I'm going to pull a Guude, and I'm going to build myself a deck as well, because I love the idea of having a deck. And, I mean, what's the sense of having such a high, cool apartment if you don't have, like, a little area to go step out onto and enjoy? But, unfortunately, I don't want to lose the glass panes with our limited, quote-unquote, limited sand that's around on the server. Bloop. Oh, I wonder, I gotta go look at my spot down here. Let's see, reserved for Seth, Bling. There's Guude, BTC. I wonder if this is done by... I would guess it's done by going around here. If that's Seth, Bling, and Guude, and they're not across from each other. Oh, I guess it can't be across from each other. I will take, I'll put my, my bike rack. I'll claim this spot right here. I guess I'll put 2 signs on it, maybe? Yeah, I'll put 2 signs on theirs. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll have to put these out there. Jay Sano bike rack. This is my bike rack. Maybe I'll store an ambulance in here or something. I don't know. Can I not get out of here? Oh yeah, I can get out of here. So, I'm going to go get some wood, make some chests, at least put them in there, give it a little bit more of a homey feel, and we can be underway with that. I could probably just take her over here from this tree area. Do I need to bother running all the way back to get wood from my place? I guess I should go, whoops, I'm already going the wrong direction. Oh, yeah, somebody changed out their windows to different colored windows. Interesting. Yeah, I'm already running the wrong way because it's directly this way. So Let me go back, and then I will tell you the story of some stories of some apartments that I've lived in while we just make the place all pretty. I'll be back. So guys, in doing this, I just noticed something as well. Remember I keep talking about this snow glitch that's going on, which makes enemies very, well, I can't say very easy to kill, but look, I'm standing around this spider before he actually does anything to me for a long time. I actually was able to kill a skeleton who was aimed at me, who didn't even shoot at me because he was just dancing around on the snow. But there was a zombie just over here who trailed me this way, got to my snow area, and kind of started going crazy, just like every other mob has. And you know what he did? He actually jumped around in circles, and he ended up trampling some of these pumpkins. And, oops, damn it, and ended up with the seed in his hand. Now, I think that might be what happened to my pumpkins before. I think I had those snow golems around, and they were just planting snow over here. Oh, shoot. They were just planting snow over here, and what happened was it just ended up getting to the point where it trampled enough of my crops that I lost all the pumpkins. I bet you that's what happened. But anyways, almost back to the apartment. Alright guys, here we go. Trekking back upstairs in the Bling Towers, which I get to now call home. Man, I'll have to get all my mail forwarded and all that stuff. It's kind of a pain whenever you move because it causes you to forget something that you needed forwarded, and you only realize it when you actually didn't get something that in the mail that you were supposed to get, and then it's just all a big mess. But anyways, we are here, we are home, and how do I want to decorate? I think what I'm going to do to start, which is just going to be cheesy at first, but oh no, we already realized that 2 high snow blocks are going to, I could. Isn't that how you do this? There we go. Let me make a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns. That's what we're going to do. And I'm eventually going to get a carpet in here. Unfortunately, I don't have a carpet right now because I don't have a sheep farm of my own. I did stop and shear somebody's sheep so I could make a bed. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to sleep in the bed, but I can make the bed and it will be good. Can I just put my lighting into the wall? You think he'd get mad? Considering that goes into Adlington's room. That's not even a pumpkin that I wanted in there. We'll see if Adlington gets upset about this or not. Maybe he'll like it. There we go. This will be the way I light this room up for the time being. I unfortunately probably can't put it on in the ceiling. Well, can always ask for forgiveness later, right? You gotta put those underneath a block. That's right. Either way, I'll just make some temporary holes where I'm gonna put my lighting fixtures at. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, there's no middle ground. Maybe I'll do 4 of them here. Why am I punching this when I have an axe sitting in my inventory? How's that look? 1, 2, 3. I think I need to go this way, actually. 1. Put 4 of them right here. I don't know how this is going to look. We'll find out. This is just all part of the testing phase. But while I'm doing this, I can talk to you guys about old apartments that I've lived in. So, I've lived on my own quite a decent amount of time in my life. Not nearly as much as Guude has. I know Guude's lived alone since he was like 17. I definitely did not live alone when I was 17. I had many times in my life where I lived at college, at the dorms, things like that. So not quite the same as things that he is discussing. Should I just do it? No, because I don't know. We'll see how this looks. I probably first moved out on my own. I mean, even in college, I had some apartments that I had with other people. So I wasn't living at home anymore, and I was living in like either an apartment or something, but it was more of a temporary thing as opposed to a long-term thing, whereas I consider the living alone part being long-term. So starting my talks about when I actually lived on my own in an apartment setting for like a year lease or something like that. I think that's all the ones I put in. Yeah. This is probably against the rental agreements. I didn't read it too well. And they should probably get changed out to glowstone or something, but it's what I have for now. So that's what we're gonna... We're just gonna go with these for now to get lighting in here. So I can put snow down. And this is just to show that... Oops. I'm going to eventually have my ski hill, and I'm gonna change this carpet out at some point, but... It's going to look kind of like Sev's because he's got his snow golem running around. But I wanted something, some type of carpet in here. Is that really going to melt? Or did I just miss that spot? I'm not sure. But the first apartment that I had on my own, like the first lease that I signed... yeah, shoot, they are gonna melt. Never mind, I guess this isn't gonna work with the snow, but we'll let it ride and sit there and have a good old time with it anyway. I signed a lease with a girl. I had started dating this girl, and, you know, of course, I was young and stupid and was sure that, oh my God, we were gonna get married, and she wanted to get married, and, you know, we worked together. That's how we met, and we lived together after 2 months of dating. Circumstances made that thing happen a little bit faster than I wanted. But, I mean, it was still definitely a lot of stupidity to sign a lease with somebody that early on into a relationship. Yeah, I've definitely made my mistakes in my day. I was 22 at the time. There's no way we ever should have started living together for one that early in a relationship, let alone have a lease together. Because, you know, needless to say, we only lasted another about 6 months after that before we split up into a horrible, horrible, horrible breakup. We ended up becoming actually good friends again later. I can't say, well, good friends, but we were on much better terms with each other later, and we, like, talked and things like that. But, I mean, that's beside the point. So now this is just going to bother me, since it's melting away slowly but surely. I'll just have to get real carpet in here. But anyways, this apartment was a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was very small though. It was like 500 square feet. So if you, or excuse me, it was 725 square feet. So if you live in New York or something, that's a really big apartment to you. If you don't live in New York, it's a pretty small apartment. In general, it is definitely a small apartment. I don't know what I'm building here. I honestly have absolutely no idea what I'm trying to build right now. I was just arbitrarily laying things down and going to make it look nice. But either way, had this apartment, and it was the place that pretty much everybody in my town, it was like the first place they go and get an apartment at. That doesn't look good at all, does it? I'll try to turn these. It was the cheapest place around. It was also kind of mixed with Section 8 housing, which if you don't know what Section 8 housing is, it's for the those who can't afford their own housing. It's like government subsidized. And I'm not saying anything bad about government subsidized housing or anything like that, but it's definitely a different oops, that didn't work. A different type of crowd there than it is when it's everybody who's paying for their own you know, their stuff on their own because they're working for it, this and that, especially when it's that cheap. I mean, I'm not trying to be derogatory, but I'm just trying to let you guys understand. So it's a place that has a bunch of wonderful people in it, as well as a bunch of shady people in it. And a lot of the shady people were actually really wonderful people too, but you have to get to know them, but some of them were not. So, I mean, you gotta leave it at that. I kind of want to just a border around this place, actually Actually looks kind of cool. It's going to take out, I'm going to end up taking all this stuff down, but I'm just kind of curious what it's going to look like if I extrapolate this around the entire room, because it looks kind of cool, actually. So there we go. So we always had some interesting people wandering around, some interesting people throwing parties, some interesting people randomly showing up at your door. And this one time I remember I was sitting there, I was on the lower level of this apartment, and I don't mean lower level as in like the first floor. I mean lower level as in if you walked into the apartment building, I'm going to run out of wood that quick. If you walked into the apartment building, you had to actually go down a half a flight of stairs to get to where you were trying to my apartment door. You had to go down a little bit to actually get there. And we didn't have a balcony, but we did have a picture window that you could see right out to the door. So like if this was the picture window, it looked, you have to look up because this part of it was dirt. So the window didn't actually start there. The window started up a little high, but under it was dirt. And you could see up to the walkway where people were walking in the entrance to the apartment. So I was sitting there one day and I'm just chilling on my couch, and my couch was like this, like let's say this was the couch, and I was watching TV, and I looked out and I see this woman probably in her late 20s, early 30s, and she's just bent down outside, staring in my window, just like looking, just kind of scanning around. And I kind of like looked out the window and I like made sure she noticed me, and I looked at her and I kind of like waved like, "Hi, I can see you. You're staring into my apartment," being all a little bit weird. And then she like walked up to the window and she kind of knocked on it and pointed toward the door. So I was like, okay, this is odd. So I go out to the door and I was like, can I help you with something, miss? And she's like, yeah, does Jim something or other live here? And I was like, no, nope, nobody by that name lives at this particular address. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty positive that nobody with that name lives with me. I kind of know who lives with me. And she's like, oh, that's a shame. I went on a couple dates with this guy, and he told me that this was his address, and I thought things were going really well. So she starts giving me this whole like long life story on these like this whole long extrapolated story about the date that she went on with this guy, and how he said he lived here, and she thought things were going so well. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, like maybe he creeper going creep. Hey guys. And ooh, there we go. Apple. What are you guys up to? All hail melon. Apparently they have a shrine to the melon. Where is the shrine? Don't worry guys, I'm gonna replant these trees. I'm just waiting for some saplings to drop so I can do such things in their house. I mean church. Nice. I'll have to go check that out in just a little bit and make sure these things are planted. But anyways, she starts going on and on and on about this story with their date, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe he just gave you the wrong, like, you know, address or whatever. I was like, do you have his phone number? Like, why don't you call him? And she was like, yeah, he gave me his phone number because he told me to meet him over here, and I just decided instead of calling him, I just come over and surprise him instead. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you should give him a call because he doesn't live here. You know, this isn't his house. You know, maybe it's just one of the other. Like, there's like 15 different buildings in this place that have all apartment complexes and things like that. Or it's a big, excuse me, in this apartment complex, there's like 15 different buildings that have all these different apartments in them. Like, I mean, like 30 different apartments. It's a huge apartment complex. Where is MC's and Milby's house at? I don't even know. That looks like a church. That's Death Games. Materials for a courthouse. This does look like a giant church, but it also looks like something that Nebris would make. Pretty sure it's something that Nebris would make. Only saying that based on... Oh, are they over there? Oh, they might be over here. Only saying that based on the fact that we're all supposed to take small little areas just to do something with for the server at the beginning to start. And of course, Nebris, every time that we did that, including in Season 3, you know, Season 4, he takes this, like, massive plot right at the spawn area. Oh, that's Blame. That's not what I was looking for. Well, guys, I'm lost. I don't know where these guys are at. So, we'll check that stuff out later. There's a big skeleton. Hi, buddy. Ow! That bow's a knockback bow for sure. If I knew where it was at, I'd go check out the melon shrine right now. It's probably this one or something like that. No, that's the map room. But, so she starts telling me about, you know, that, oh no, she wants to come surprise him instead, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, you might as well call him now because, you know, he obviously doesn't live here. It might just be one of those other places in there. And she's like, well, yeah, actually, I don't have his phone number. And I was like, well, how'd you know, find out that you were supposed to, you know, meet him over here if you don't have his phone number? Like, didn't he call you? And she's like, well, no. Actually, we went out once, and I tried to get a hold of him because I stalked him on something. She like admitted she stalked him on something, and she's like, and I found out what his phone number was, and then I thought I found what his address was too, and I was just gonna come over and wonder why he hadn't called me back yet. And I'm like, oh, this chick is a psycho chick. Like, that's always fun. That obviously this guy didn't want anything to do with her, probably because he realized she was psycho, and now she's out looking for him at my house because she some reason thinks that maybe he was a previous tenant of that place. I'm not sure, but she for some reason thinks that he lives here, and that's unfortunate. That's not going to make a nice circle. She thinks he lives here, and she obviously does not live here, and that's going to be kind of weird. And my roommates got home at the time. It does look kind of cool, but it makes it way too cramped in here. And it's obviously like the coloring doesn't match either. But anyways, that was fun. Let's take all this down now. So my roommates got home at the time, actually. And this wasn't my girlfriend. It was after she had moved out. I had some friends of mine that moved in. So they get home. They were a couple, and they get home. And they were like, oh, Jeff, who's this person that's out here? And I was like, so I gave them the real brief without saying anything crazy in front of her. And I was like, oh, this is Jill, or whatever the hell her name was. I have no idea what her name was. I was like, oh, this is Jill. She thought this guy that she went on a date with lived here because she got his address off of Facebook or something like that. And they're like, oh, so they understood what I was saying right away. And they're like, oh, and I was like, well, good thing I got to get going to work now. And I had to work the night shift, so I had to leave. And I was expecting that she was going to leave too. So I went to work, and I worked at McDonald's at the time, and it was right down the street from where we lived. And my one roommate had actually worked there with me. His girlfriend didn't, but they both came up there to eat dinner like an hour later, or like 2 hours later, because it was a little bit of time. And they said, they were like, Jeff, we only came up to eat dinner because we wanted to like tell you more about that chick. Like, you didn't know who she was? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, right after you left, she started asking a lot about you. Is he single? Does he have a girlfriend? Is he dating anybody? Is he looking for anybody? Do you think he'd mind if you guys gave me his phone number? Like, which they didn't do, thank God. But I was really worried for a long time that this girl was going to start stalking me like she stalked this random dude. But yeah, that was a fun story from that apartment that I lived in once before. Luckily, that's not going to happen to me here because nobody can see in this window, so that's awesome. And it'd be kind of weird if any of the guys in the Mindcrack server stalked me. Yeah, well, I guess Aurelian could stalk me, but I don't think that she would. I don't think I'd be her type, but anyways. Another apartment I lived in relatively recently in the last couple of years, and I was in the middle floor. It was 3 floors, and I lived in the middle floor with buddy of mine, and it had the most paper-thin walls in the world, I swear. And the people above us was a family. And I swear to God, because I worked nights at the time, and I swear to God, they got up in the morning and they threw their dining room table at each other over and over and over again. That's what it sounded like they were doing because the walls were so thin. But they got up every morning at, I think at like 8:15, because I would get home from work at like 8 o'clock, and the second I would lay down, I'd go to sleep, I'd be staring at the ceiling, and I'd be like, oh my God, I just worked this long night shift, finally time to relax and go to bed. And not only would it instantly just start boom, 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 and I mean, it was just little kids running back and forth. That's why it was these little footsteps. Such thin walls, but it was so bad you could see the ceiling like vibrating with everything. Like those little dust particles would come falling down from the ceiling every single morning. I couldn't take that at all. But luckily nobody lives above me, so that is not gonna be a problem, which is gonna be fantastic. I'm extremely happy about that in this place. Not that the people make too much noise when they walk on this server, but you know. But knowing that this is actually above my place, I think what I'm going to do is build a small little... Oh, I can't do too much of a garden here, can I? I need water first. Build a real quick... to get Adlington's. And now this is completely Adlington's idea. I'm just jumping along with it because I like the idea a lot. Oh, I left the dirt downstairs. Of having like a little rooftop garden. It's very urban. Very, very DC-like. Very new age chef cuisine. Like, did I leave my water bucket somewhere? Well, that's annoying. I left my water bucket back at the other base. So I can't really get things actually planted, but I can start and show where my garden will go. And I could actually probably probably extend this out one more. Think it'll look pretty cool. There we go. If I do that, I can go like that, have one little space for water right there, and have a lot of cool different things growing in here. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Adlington and I are gonna have such a cool little garden. Anyways, guys, sorry, I've rambled on long enough about apartments and things like that I've lived in, and got kind of distracted in the middle. Yeah, that's what happens when you get off work and make a Mindcrack episode after working the night shift. You talk a little crazy like, which I'm doing right now. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you appreciated this episode, and tell me what suggestions you have for me to deck this place out. I will be making a balcony out here. I will be making a fire pit on there as well, as in a barbecue. I hope it don't burn the place down. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.